you don't even know it's a mistake because the enemy's played so bad you don't even know it's a mistake, So what Inspired said about that is absolutely true. We improved so much in this 1.5 week span. I don't know how long we were here. Or I've personally learned a lot, seen a lot, and I will definitely take away so many things.
Today was unfortunately the last match of FlyQuest at MSI 2025. I am the presence of support Busio after this soul-crushing defeat, I would say. I mean, obviously it was very close, right? You guys gave them a run for their money. You made us all hope. Obviously we were all behind you. Unfortunately, at the end, especially a lot of people will be looking back at Game 5, right? Feels like a bit everything fell apart from the early game, like Masu, unfortunately, face checking, right, and everything. First of all, what are your feelings after this match? What are you taking on from what happened?
I feel pretty bad. I know Game 5 was just little hope because of just unfortunate things that happened early game, but I'm looking more at Game 2 and 3. I think I made very sad mistakes, things I already know. So those mistakes are the worst, mistakes you already know. Like when you make a mistake and you learn something new because of it, it's fair enough. But I made some mistakes I already knew, so that I'm very disappointed in myself for that. And those definitely could have changed the game. But yeah, at the same time, I had some good games, some good moments, and I think we are quite competitive with the East, especially with the mistakes that I'm making. So that should give a lot of hope to keep working hard, because if I just can fix those mistakes, we can win. And then my teammates probably think the same themselves. So if everyone just gets a bit better, we will be beating Eastern teams.
Yeah, it feels like you guys are very aware of what you need to fix already without even needing to VOD review in a way. What would you say are those big mistakes, especially in Game 2 and 3, that you are looking to fix?
Yeah, for me, the ones that I am very sad about is in the Renata game, just me and Masu had a fantastic first 3 waves. The way we played our early lane was very, very nice. And then wave 4 came, our ward expired, so it was a bit of pressure by their jungler. And then the way I played bad, and then the rel chunked us, because when she casts Q, I need to insta-cast Q, so then when she sends W, I can cancel it, but I casted E first, so then I didn't have time to cast Q, and I didn't cancel, and we just lost HP. We didn't lose the game there or anything, but it's just I know this. Why did I make that mistake? And then later she Q flashed on Masu, and the same thing. This one was harder because it was out of the bush, but I didn't react fast enough with Q, and I know I can, so that's why I'm disappointed in that. And then in the Alistar game, for example, with the lane position we had, I should have just pre-leveled Q. So then when Nautilus hooks me, I just click Q, and then I get my Aftershock, and the trade slightly better. Again, Masu still auto them 2 times after and healed, so it ended up fine. But it's if I did that, it would have been even better. And then later in the lane, the Nautilus was max range hooking me, so if I Q before he hooks, it wasn't actually giving me the Aftershock and CCing him. So I need to get slightly closer to him when he does that. So and I already know this all, so I'm just sad because that kind of made our lanes worse than they should have. And it's not we lost the game because of these things, but if I did it properly, we would have won lane, or had just a better position in the game. So yeah, those are the individual mistakes that I was referencing. And then the other more team mistakes or team fighting mistakes, that stuff I will notice more in the VOD review aspect of it, because I did think I had a pretty solid team fighting. I think in the Renata game I made one team fighting mistake that I was pretty sad about. I believe it was at the Otacon. The rel flashed on Masu, and I ulted the direction of the rel, but I didn't wait to see where Pantheon was ulting from and stuff like that, so I should have just held it a little longer, and that fight could have been maybe a win, and we would have won the game and won the series, and we'd be here celebrating. So it's just very small things from just me could have completely changed the outcome of the series. So yeah, but I bet all 10 players in the game are thinking the same thing, so small things matter. So I wish I did those small things better, and I'll do them better next time.
Yeah. Those small micro mistakes, the mechanical stuff as well, do you think there is a magic way to just improve it? Because obviously this is like the kind of thing that it feels like it comes from playing, it comes from like experience in general. I know Inspired was obviously talking to us about how like in NA obviously like the solo queue is not as good. For example, like the teams don't push you as much or something. Is this something that you can fix while playing in NA? I guess in general.
Um, those things, yes, and I would say for those specific things that I was mentioning, um, they're things I already know, so I must have been distracted or some percent nervous that made me cause those mistakes, because I think in a very comfortable environment, I would only make those mistakes if I just wasn't paying attention. So um, those can be fixed with just like experience, confidence on stage. And other mistakes like the Renata team fighting one, those are less punished in NA, and you notice them less because we're just generally better than the other teams. Like I think our scrim stats were revealed, and we have like a very high scrim win rate.
Right.
Yes, so we don't get punished as much, and then you don't think about those mistakes as much, or even like you don't even know it's a mistake because the enemies played so bad you don't even know it's a mistake. So what Inspired said about that is absolutely true. We improved so much in this 1.5 week span. I don't know how long we were here, or I've personally like learned a lot, seen a lot, and I will definitely take away so many things. And when we come back to NA, we can't practice those things as much, but you still can practice a lot. So it's just about doing the best you can and taking these learnings from the international back to our region.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of scrims as well, Whippo was talking with us the other day, and he was talking about how he joked a lot about scrims against Asian team, how the second scrim block is like stress relief and everything or whatever,
Yeah.
and how it's obviously very rough into those teams in general. I mean, what do you think like are the specific areas that these kinds of like scrim against Asian team like teach you the most about as well in general compared to NA, I guess?
Yeah, laning is the first one. Laning against these Eastern teams is just much more calculated. They all have very good ideas of their lane. They're very experienced. All the players are mechanically good and good in the knowledge department. So you just really have to have a good idea of your matchup. You can't kind of know. If you kind of know, you're going to definitely get exposed. So that's even just the baseline to scrim an Eastern team. You need to really know how to lane that matchup. And then it just keeps going. Once you get out of lane or win lane, they just play the map very well, and they play team fights very well. So you just have to have those three aspects of the game down: laning, mid game in the map, and then team fights. And if you can do all three well, and all five of you kind of understand the same thing, then you can have a competitive scrim block and then learn other things. But those three are the big ones.
Yeah. I want to go back to today's match as well, especially, I mean, Game 5, as we already mentioned. Inspired in the press conference was talking about how he felt like the entire game was lost also mainly because of drafts. Would you agree with this? Do you think like maybe you guys in the draft either like didn't prepare well enough, or maybe like you ran out of picks because of Fearless? What do you think exactly happened? Do you think like, for example, the Zillion pick was a mistake because it didn't really pan out, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think like that. Like, I'm not responsible for the draft, nor do I criticize our draft. Sometimes when the game feels really hard when I'm doing the right thing, then I'm like, guys, my pick must suck, or something must suck because I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Please tell me because this feels unplayable. But most of the time, I just think about what we have selected and how we can win with that. And I didn't see a big problem. Their comp obviously was strong. And for example, for our jungler, he was getting invaded early, but I'm not sure if that's because of the draft or because of the lane problems. For example, I believe our quad had some troubles early game, and then our lane started off quite tragically from just the chunk in our summons being blown, and then our lane position was pretty hard. But I believe in a normal game, we would find a way to win that, because if we can get 5 champions of ours versus 5 champions of theirs, we will win the fights, because so much of their comp is indexed into globals. But then at the same time, they should get a lead in the early game because of that. And then like mid game, they should always have tempo, because they have a better time controlling the map because they have so many globals. But maybe their draft slightly better, but I definitely see and understand how we win that game. Um, so I think if our early game wasn't so tragic, we would have a very good shot, irregardless of our draft.
And do you think there's anything else that you could have done to salvage that early game? I mean, obviously you guys bled XP, bled gold, and CS. It was very rough, right? Is there, like, in retrospect, anything you think that you could have done to stanch the bleeding?
I mean, for sure, we were a little too desperate at times. Like, I don't know what happened bot, but from that level 1, somehow we killed the Ashe and crashed our wave. So, like,
Yeah.
we figured it out. Like, props to Masu. Like, that was such a tough situation. But then after that, we were, like, dying in the jungle because they had pryos and globals and Ashe arrows flying. So just, like, for example, a small thing like saying, yo, be careful about Ashe arrow. Inspired, be ready to ward hop it. Just something like that, just like a little nudge to your teammates, if we were more aware, could have changed the game a lot because even though we had a tragic early game, when the items are relatively even, you can win fights, and especially with our comp, we're actually quite strong in fights. But we were just too desperate and maybe choosing the wrong fights and getting picked a little too much. So if we were more level-headed, I think we could have still won. But I mean, if the enemies lose from that position level 1 after like 3 waves, then they need to review themselves, you know.
Fair enough. All right, we are running out of time, but Busio, is there anything you want to say to the fans after this match?
Yeah, thank you guys for the support. We learned a lot from this tournament. I learned a lot from this tournament. And we will hopefully remember these learnings in NA, and excited for our next internationals.
Awesome. Well, Busio, thank you so much for talking with us today. Again, I'm sorry. I mean, I was rooting for you guys as well. Everyone were. And yeah, I mean, I'm just going to be here hoping that you guys will be able to get some good practice, some good lessons from this as well, and that we'll see a better face from you in the next tournaments, right? So for now, I wish you a good night, and hopefully we get to talk to you again soon.
Thank you very much.